Yeah, so we're live. Thank you so much for being here with me today. It's super, super happy to have you. Really great pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to be here.
Amazing. So before we start, as some of you know already, this month we are sponsored by Whale Street, who are a DeFi engine that powers the NFT economics. They make huge currency swaps happen, or whale swaps as they're called, with a very small slippage cost and without crashing the system. They're also engineered the largest ever NFT bundle and fractionalized it into historic B20 tokens. Whale Street is all about upside, so dip into their liquidity pools for rich rewards. Or to join B20, you can join their Discord channel, which we will link underneath in the comments, and you can follow Whale Street at their Twitter page, Whale Street off L. Super. So John Noorlander, super happy to have you here. I mean, you are, I guess, a pioneer of many different things, but especially in the digital art community, I think you're one of the most influential artists. So it's a real pleasure for me to speak to you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm enjoying working from home quite a bit. So yeah, can't complain. Yeah, it's very nice words of you there to describe me. So, yeah, I'm just trying my best.
Amazing. So obviously, I don't want to introduce you to the audience, but I would love if you would do that. There's no introduction needed, but just if you can give a brief overview about your life journey so far, that would be amazing.
Yeah. So where should I start? Okay, I'm not. Some probably people know from my accent. I'm not American. I grew up in Sweden and studied in Sweden, and then I quickly kind of directly after uni I moved to London. Spent maybe eight years in London, I think, in total, working at different design shops. So I come from a very commercial world and advertising. So, and then after that, I moved to LA, spent a few years in LA working as well. And then after that, I moved to New York. That sounds very fast, but that whole journey was a span over 20 years. So I spent a decent amount of time in each place. But currently I'm in New York working and, practicing art. So I both, obviously, I'm fairly new to this crypto world. I've been doing it now for maybe 6 months since Nifty Gateway reached out to me out of the blue, and that kickstarted the journey. So I'm very grateful for Tommy over at Nifty for introducing me to this whole concept, since I literally had zero idea that it ever existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was quite fun. So I still have my daytime work as well. So yeah, keeping very busy now the last few months. There's a lot of double up on work. So yeah, that's me.
I can imagine. I mean, you said I'm pretty new, and you said 6 months ago, which for crypto art is I don't know, I think a decade.
Yeah, I'm pretty much a granddad.
Yeah, I don't think you can consider yourself new anymore.
Not anymore, yeah. Seasoned veteran.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And yeah, you mentioned that Nifty reached out to you. So how was that? How did that go? So what happened there? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So basically, got an email from Tommy, and he's just described what blockchain was, and I was like, what? And then you can sell art on it. So, and obviously you have to explain the whole thing, copy and paste the image versus actually buying it as an NFT and all that thing. And I thought, yeah, let's give it a go. I literally didn't know what would happen, but I had a few art pieces that I was quite proud of. There was one that was the Exploding Head series that I've done quite a fair bit amount of. But so yeah, put a few of them up, and I was actually on a shoot when I was directing a commercial at the time when the thing went live, and I was constantly checking my phone, and it's sold out in a few minutes, and I was like, what is this actually possible? And yeah, ever since it's been had a lot of fun, and been creating a lot of new art for it. So yeah, it's been good.
That's amazing. And also like I went in and looked a little bit, and you're someone that basically has lived and breathed art all of his life, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I think it's in the
Yeah,
family. It's in the family.
yes,
And I think
yeah,
I found a sweet spot, I think, with what I do. Like my bio says, my mum is like a painter, like a more conventional painter. And yet to introduce her to that, I talked about it yesterday with her about bringing her into the NFT world. I think so let's see. Hopefully I can do a collaboration with my mum.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be super cool.
Yeah, so I think hopefully that could happen. And yeah, my dad is actually an architect, from a Dutch architect. So I'm actually not fully Swedish. I'm half Swedish and half Dutch. And yeah,
Oh,
so
nice.
I've been doing art my whole life, and ever since a little kid, I've always been drawing and stuff. And then I've gone into found 3D very early on, like the first version of 3D Studio, when it was super hard to do anything in 3D. So I grew up with that, and I feel like, yeah, that old struggle I had in the beginning of creating 3D stuff is like it's not there anymore for even the new kids to start out. Like before, it was hard to light the scene. It was hard to do anything just to make an image out of it. But obviously, that's been streamlined a lot later, which is super fun. So there's a lot more people can do it, and you don't need to have a super technical background to be able to do, create art online and create 3D art. So.
Yeah. And actually, like on this, I'm really curious because obviously, like crypto art is well, it is becoming a pretty big deal. There's more and more people that are like entering, this space. Like NFT seems to be a trending hashtag on Twitter.
It's hot.
Even.
It's very hot at the moment, right? It's like billionaires playground coming in now, right? So
exactly,
which is
exactly.
good. It should bring it to the masses. Even as a community now, when it's like relatively super small. Like it feels like everyone that's into crypto at the moment kind of know each other on Twitter one way or another, right? It's a quite tight community, and I feel like it's just getting started, right? Like once the masses understands this, and I think you have this people talking very fondly about it now, right? With the Mark Cuban, was it Cubano?
Mark Cuban,
Mark Cuban. When all those people start chatting about it, then I think like the masses will come in, and I think it can only get better, so it's super fun to be relatively early in the stage, right? And kind of see what will go, where it will go. So
absolutely. And like I guess obviously you mentioned that you have your full-time job as well. Like how do you see these two worlds in a way like coming together, or is it something that still feels
I'm pretty much
very separate?
The thing at the moment is quite separate, but since I'm creating very similar things for the two outputs, right? So, and I'm 100% certain that commercial work will include NFTs very soon. Like when brands, since it doesn't matter time big brands comes in, right? Why wouldn't they? And I feel like
of course.
it will be like a deliverable. At the moment, when I started doing commercials, the only thing you did a deliverable was for like the TV commercial, right? And then internet sneaked in, and you start making banners and stuff. And now the commercials are fully, you do full on commercials for only internet, right? And then social came in, and then you start doing that for social and social tags, and it's like it's inevitable that it will jump over to this thing as well, right? So so let's see. I think it will be, maybe I'm like working against myself soon somehow. But I'm all for it. And the thing is, I really enjoy what I do on my, like I call it the day job, which is like it's still the same thing for me. It's like just different outputs, like I'm working on a little bit bigger scale project, obviously on the commercial side, and then on the crypto world is much more of the art project, which and I always like to live in the middle, even for a commercial job. I try, I want to make an art film, but I need to sell something, right? So, and I try to balance it, but I still like both very much, So.
And talking about your artwork and your pieces itself, like it's pretty clear that they're an explosion of a lot of things, like,
Explosion, yeah. Everything
color,
explodes.
movement, everything explodes, shapes. In some of them, like, you almost have the feeling that you can touch them. Like, I was, especially like the Nature Move series, like I have the feeling that I can like sense, touch what is happening, which is super cool. What, can you speak a little bit about your creative process, and even the inspiration? Like, how do these series like come about?
The thing is, like, I've been asked that question quite a bit. What's my inspiration? The thing is, like, I think everything inspired me when like you're scrolling down Instagram, you're looking at Twitter, like, you see things that you like, and like, oh, this is kind of neat, and then I think a large part of my art is like, it's just like what if moment, right? Kind of, oh, this, what if this, and then trying to figure out how it works. And what I do, my art piece, I always try to push the technology as well as the actually final output. So if there is some new tool out there that I want to kind of learn or get into, I use that as my new tool, and then trying to push it through and trying to get my vision through that certain tool and see how kind of get evolved as an artist. Since I think that's how I evolve as an artist and keep track on all the new things. And if you didn't, I would still be struggling rendering out stuff from 3D Studio Max, 20 years ago, So I think in our world, as a very kind of technical artist, I work in 3D and all, like, it's new tools every day, right? That you need to keep track on. Just recently, like, Unreal Engine is everyone raving about, and I've been working with it for quite a few months, and like there's a whole new thing that you need to try to figure out. So it's a lot of it's at the moment I'm probably 50% technical, trying to figure out stuff, and 50% the art part. But once you get over the technical thing, then that you can be maybe 10% technical and 90% just art. But you have to you have to evolve technically to overcome those things so you can create the things you want to create, since you want to push everything the boundaries all the time, right? So I think that's how I kind of work with a lot of my art pieces. Like, it's something quite technical underlying thing, like you said, the nature thing. It was fur and simulation and dynamics, and I think that's what makes it so kind of, you want to grab it, since everything moves in a quite natural way, and like you can think that's it. Kind of, it's not real obviously, but you can think it could be real, a little miniature that actually moves, and the textures and stuff. So I think that's how I push myself in all of these things. So it's like a lot of
that's very
leading with technology, I think.
Yeah, that's very interesting that it's technology first and then art.
Maybe not. Cool. They obviously go tandem, like
hand in hand.
Like, I'm just like, I'm not a technical artist, like, it's not like I only do technical and trying to figure out. But I feel like that for me, they're very, maybe I think the technology needs to come just a little bit before, since otherwise you can't use it right, and then you can't create art, right? But
of course.
But I work in tandem.
And I guess it's part of evolution as well. The more you're experiencing new stuff, the more you're evolving yourself and your art as well, which I think can
and bring take it to new places, right? Since, like, I think my art shifts quite a bit. Like, I don't maybe have just a certain style. I do lots of series, since I do like I set up something, and then I have a lot of different ideas with it, but then something can be quite different from the next, and I think you'll see that from actually my next Nifty dropped. I should plug it. It's Feb 22nd coming up, and
nice.
It's a very it's a new like, it's not a new technique, but I've taken something from the more fine art things that I did before, and then using that new and bringing that into the crypto world. So it's like a particle based setup. So it's no dancing characters. It's not only dancing characters and exploding heads. So it's a wide range. I never really want to box myself into like a certain style. Obviously, I have a certain look, like it's inevitable what I do, what I think color red is nice, so I use it a lot, whatever, my style is still there, but, the look and feel is quite different from pieces. It's not like I just do one very narrow thing and that's the only thing I do, right? I don't have any box to work inside, So
that I mean, that's to be honest, that's even better, you know, like boxing yourself up is in a way, I guess, a bit limiting as well.
I
So
think
the idea of,
I'll just get bored of it. I think that's the thing, right?
yeah.
Like I'm very short span attention span, right? I want it like I want constant something new. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And since you've started, like since you've entered this world, like, you know, you said it's been 6 months, and 6 months is a pretty long time. Has your, like, even, you know, seeing other artists within this space, like has your style evolved? Have you taken any, I don't know, like any inspiration from anybody else, or something that has kind of like changed the way that you work since starting, like, you know, minting, for example, on platforms?
The thing is, 6 months do feel like a long time, but since being pandemic, it feels like it was yesterday. Since basically I haven't moved for 6 months, so I'm still just here. But
I feel you.
The thing is, I think it's inevitable not to get inspiration from anything. Like if you see it visually, you take it in, no matter if you want it or not, right? But something I'm quite excited about that I haven't done a lot, which I have quite a few of collaborations in the works, which I'm really excited about, since I never really done any, you know, I've done collaborations on commercial sites, like when you work in a big team and there's lots of people, but I never done it on my own a personal kind of art project. So I'm super excited about quite a few of them. So, and I'm working with a few lined up with other visual artists and some with the musician artists. So I'm very excited. And
nice.
I have one that's coming out. We don't know when it comes out with a space yacht. That's going to be a big whopper one, which I'm quite excited about to show later on. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. And obviously, you know, you've been minting and using like a lot of different platforms. So from, you know, you said Nifty to Super Rare to Maker's Place to Rarible. How, in your opinion, in your vision, how do all of these platforms like complement each other? And also, you know, maybe like where do you see them, like in the future, like what do you see happening within this space? I'm very curious to hear your thoughts.
I think each gonna probably have to find its own niche, right? And I feel like, well, like Nifty definitely have that, right? And they have the whole drop, the build up and stuff, which I really like. I think they're doing obviously an excellent job. But then likewise, I think Super Rare is also having its own niche, right? Which they're doing really well as well, right? Which you know brings that the artist, you know, I can mint whenever I want, you know, which I quite is good, you know. So I feel like they complement each other really well, right? Absolutely. You have these kind of milestones where you have maybe your Nifty drops, you know, I done a few already, right? And then it's good, you know, you have planned, but then the super work at Super Rare stuff is a little bit more, you know, this is, since I create work all the time, you know, I don't mint everything, but, you know, like when you create, this is pretty cool, you know, pretty neat. And then you can just upload it, you know, literally 5 minutes after you're done
instantly.
with it. Once you convert it into MP4 and trying to figure out the GIF settings and all that, right? So I think they all going to find its own space. You know, some going to prosper a lot more than others. And the thing is, I signed up on pretty much every. I like, what is this word? I don't know if that's, you know, allowed, but I'm just like spread thin on everything.
No, yeah, I love that. I mean, you said you don't really have a style, and I think that, you know, reflects even in, you know, you using all of the platforms. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Why not? You know.
Yeah, why not? That's a good way. And I also wanted to like hear your opinion on collectors. You know, obviously, like they're a very important part of the community. I guess, you know, without collectors, there wouldn't be Cryptoart at all. How do you see the role of collectors, you know, within your artwork specifically? Like, are there any you know, like kind of like loyal collectors of yours? And also, like, are you a collector yourself?
I'm a collector of my unsold work, so I have a few. Yeah, no, I haven't collected anyone yet. You know, I'm still, you know, but I should do it, shouldn't I? Like, I think you should give back a little bit, right? So, and the thing is, I think it's a fine line, right? Like, I think, like you said, you need, if there are no collectors, there's no market, right? But then other way around, right? There's no artists, there's no market either. So
of course.
So it's like they play completely equal roles, I would say.
Yeah.
And I have a few collectors, like I really enjoy it, since you're creating this kind of, it's all internet friendships, right? It's all Twitter friendship, but like you have like in a few that you continue chatting with, and so yeah. I like all my collectors. You're all equally. I love you each. Same amount.
You mentioned you just mentioned network and like the Twitter community and stuff like that. Like obviously it's I think like something that I've noticed quite a lot within the space is really this sense of community. Yeah. Like as you said before, like everybody kind of knows each other because it's such a relatively still small
it's super. I think it's considered extremely small, right, compared to like the players that are in, so I feel like, and I think community is like super important, and I think it's super important for anyone, collector or artist, like, and I think the bigger it gets, the more you have to work on the community side, like, since it's so like, if you're in it for, like if you want to make a living out of it in that, since the end of the day, like people don't like talk about money part of it, but end of the day, if you want to pay your bills, you need to be able to maybe sell your art, if that's the only thing you do, if you like and don't have another job or whatever, but in the end, so, and I think it's super important to be visible, like, and that comes with any, that's not this crypto art, I think that's any industry. If you're not visible, if you're not out on conference, like on my other side, I go on conferences and I do like speeches around the world and talking about, my work and stuff. And you have to, if you want to be known, you kind of have to show yourself, right? So
yeah, of course.
You can be the guy that never do any promotion and some awkward kind of quiet guy that, sell for millions and just super good, and you become like some viral sensation. But like most part, I think 99% of people, like artists in any industry, not just crypto, need to grind a lot, to make it work.
Yeah.
Nothing is kind of given to you for free, right? Like you have to work for it.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess like as you said, like promo is a very, very big thing for any artist. Like how obviously, like, and I guess it changes quite a lot with like the real world and the crypto world. Like in a way, maybe promo is easier on Twitter because you have a platform that is already placed specifically for this. What are your thoughts on that? Like how did you navigate this?
The thing is, before like 6 months ago, I didn't think I ever touched Twitter. Like I signed up like probably 10 years, 20 years. I don't know when I signed up. Something, but I never I just didn't use it, And the thing is, I didn't use social. I have a presence on Instagram and TikTok, right? But that was more just pushing out, nothing to, I was building a little bit, like you had, have some sponsored posts on Instagram that I made, and same with TikTok, and I don't think the crypto art community is definitely not as visible on Instagram and TikTok. 100%. I think they are, not that Twitter obviously mainstream as well, but I think crypto world the crypto world community live on Twitter. It feels like, right? So you definitely have to be
100%.
involved in Twitter to, be seen in the crypto world. But I think, and I am, and then I've actually been working. I'm usually not the one that constantly engaging and stuff, but I try my best, and I quite enjoy it. And now I probably use way too much Twitter for my own self sanity.
Yeah.
It's always a new message from someone. Oh, let's check it out, and then like scroll down, and it's like since it's a constant feed of something going on in the crypto world, like you said before, right? It moves like so fast, so
crazy.
You basically take a day off, and then the next day everything's changed, and there's like some new drama. And stuff. It's all just a lot of fun, right? So, but then
it's the definition of FOMO. I mean, like every time it's like 1 hour and you miss out on something huge. So you have to constantly.
Yeah, can't sleep too long. Need to check Twitter. Probably extremely unhealthy behavior, but hey, it's kind of worked perfectly. Everyone is in lockdown anyway, right? So it's like a good output. But then I'm just waiting for all the kids on TikTok to find out about NFTs and stuff. Since then, I have a good follow base on TikTok. So yeah.
You're waiting for the TikTok to get into the NFT to really show your potential there.
yeah, I'm ready to explode.
That's interesting, because I don't have I'm the same as you, so I didn't have Twitter before, or I did, but I never used it. Exactly the same before, like coming into the Cryptoart, and now I'm on it all the time. I basically don't even look at Instagram anymore. Like it's just Twitter, which is crazy. But yeah, I definitely feel you. As soon as you leave for like a day, or you've missed out on, so much drama, it's better than TV for sure.
Yeah, I guess since the whole Twitter thing, since I think Instagram and TikTok is basically, it's just shopping windows. You just show people. You don't really engage and stuff. People can comment and stuff, but you never have discussions on Instagram. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's just like show your stuff, and then see what happens. But Twitter is obviously more of a community, and you actually have discussions that is
conversations.
Like actually you get out something out of it. So it's super fun.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's a constant thing for new social thing, right? So let's but then that's something I'm not really like. I'm not sure why. We have Twitter is big, right? But then it's like Discords and Telegram and like all those, which is like I'm getting like the whole Discord thing is just like I'm not sure if I'm too old for it, but I'm just don't understand it. It's like 1 million rooms and like 5,000 notification every 2 seconds. This is like what's going on, I'm not sure.
I feel you on every single word.
It's too much.
It's a very big world. Yeah.
Can keep to Twitter. I'm happy if we stays at Twitter. I feel like that's it. It works.
Yeah, I agree. I obviously I think, from somebody that has such a huge background within the art industry, is there where do you see this space really evolving? Obviously, you said big brands will obviously come in from a more I guess technical side of things, or technological side of things, and even artistic. Do you see museums coming in? Where do you see this space moving in the near future? I mean, in this year,
I think we mentioned the museum thing. I think it's the virtual museum, which I think is a super awesome idea, right? But I do think, to me, when I'm thinking, it's just since I'm a very visual person, right? And I've been working in 3D my whole life, right? And then when I'm in these metaverses and all those, I'm just having this biggest thing about the look and feel of it, since it needs to be real time. But it's we're back to 80s graphic, right? With the very blocky things, and I'm just I'm not the biggest fan of it, I think it, you can probably make it look good, but it's I feel like that will evolve pretty rapidly, I think, especially, with the game engines bringing in, I'm talking, you can make it look pretty nice in real time and stuff in Unreal Engine and Unity and stuff, right? So I feel like that's just a matter of time you make bigger, basically it becomes a Fortnite thing, but with NFT thing, right? You just join massive parties, which is what they already do in Fortnite, right? And that looks, that looks nice. There's good quality 3D when you're running about, right? So, but so I think gallery exhibitions like that, I think that will go a long way the next couple of years. Just the visual place are going there. Since I don't think it beats, going to a museum. Museums and stuff. It's art pieces in itself usually. When you walk around MoMA and stuff, the architecture is super nice, right? And that's to me is half of that's part of the experience. Is where you experience the art, So I don't necessarily want to be in too blocky little room, with 8-bit graphics and viewing these really nice art pieces. I feel like it should be, it needs to be a bigger thing, and hopefully that will evolve. And I think it will, since I feel like, what will stop Oculus and stuff just making massive museums, and which they're already done, right? They scanned the whole Mets, right?
Yeah.
You can run around in the Mets now in real time, I think Verizon did something with Oculus, and they did one of those things, which I think that's where it's at, right? You can bring maybe the conventional like museums and stuff, but you bring those into so you can experience them very closely to how they would look like if you experienced it in person. I think that would be something quite amazing, and that's something I want to be in part. Since I do I always, it's always nice to have stuff in a museum hanged, and I think
of course,
and I still, when you get asked to be in exhibition in the the virtual world, it's still very exciting when someone asks you. It's it's cool, it's a good one, sure, but I still feel like when I get asked by a museum in the real world, it's still like, oh, this is pretty cool, right? So once I think they should come, it's a little division still, but I feel like they should come together, and I feel like it shouldn't be too hard. I feel like if I'm a museum owner right now, you would be very dumb if you don't look into this space, how people can consume art, so, and I think they can live together. You can have the exhibition, since all digital art can obviously, a lot of it can live on screens and VR sets in a museum, right? And then they can also do that in tandem virtually. So, and that brings in more people to it, like you don't have to be at the location of a museum. So,
and I guess even more, like obviously with the pandemic and with everything that's happened, in the last 12 months, like, this technical evolution has just sprinted. So it's
like none of us could work from home like a year ago, right? It was like, well, a lot of people did, but I couldn't. It was like too many computers and renders and stuff, and all of a sudden we all managed to do it, right? So I think pandemic will just push forward all of this, how you do stuff virtually, right? So, which is exciting. I think that's a really good thing that came out of it. You can, you're not locked into any location anymore with any work, which is super cool.
Definitely agree. One last question for you. Very, I think it's quite an easy question. How would you describe crypto art with one word?
Crazy. I still find it quite crazy. I'm not sure I fully understand a whole lot yet, but it's very exciting. But it's crazy in a good way. Like it feels like it's a little bit. It's the gold rush. In the Wild West, right? It's just like opportunity after opportunity. Everything goes, and it's super fast, and it's so much like anything is possible, right? And everyone's trying out different things, and I think that's just. It's awesome, like it's awesome to see everyone trying these different NFT projects, and stuff just will be maybe a thing for like a couple of weeks, and people talk about it and forget about it. But like that's how you have to do it, like that's how you fast forward innovation and stuff. So
100%, and like it really feels. I mean, from my perspective, it's like being part of a kind of a revolution, to be honest, and it's exciting. Like I agree. Crazy.
But I think that's how everyone feels. Like in the revolution, right? They feel like they're doing it, but maybe we're just in this bubble and no one else really pay attention.
Yeah. Maybe we're just all crazy. And
so time will tell, but let's do it. I'm all in. Yeah. I'm all in. So.
Yeah. For the time being, it's pretty crazy and exciting. Let's leave it like that.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, thank you so much for being here with me. It was really fun to speak to you. Yeah. And looking forward to your drop on Nifty and your collaborations that are coming soon.
Yes, lots of fun things to come. So yeah, but thanks for chatting.
Amazing.
It's been fun.
Yeah. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.